Darwin Nunez is chaos.
Of course, it's chaos himself, Darwin Nunez.
The captain of it. But with his recent form and the way the team has been playing, it seems like there's no hiding place for him now. Because when the facts and the numbers come into question, just how bad is Darwin Nunez really? It's safe to say his recent form has been awful. 21 games played this season, 4 goals and 3 assists. For a guy who's supposed to be Liverpool's number 9, that's way below average, and you just get the feeling he's running on borrowed time at the club. Nunez is getting cooked this season, and sadly there are justifiable reasons behind it. Liverpool has been on a tear this season. Top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, the Reds have been flying, but it's even more than that. Under Arne Slot, we've seen players improve their games this season. Focusing on the front line for now, Luis Diaz, for example, has added end product to the incredible dribbling ability we know he has. Mohamed Salah has somehow gotten even better, goals and assists keep flying in. And Cody Gakpo is another one who's now in a rich vein of form and has become an important part of the team. Diogo Jota recently returned from injury and has continued his goal-scoring form. All these players, and yet the only one who hasn't had any major sort of impact or transformation under Slot is Darwin Nunez.
What I can agree on is that he missed a few chances. Then it's always the question, does this have anything to do with low of confidence, or is this a situation where he's in at the moment? I think every striker all around the world.
Even Arne Slot agrees now that Nunez misses way too many chances. We'll get to this in details later on, but this just paints the picture of the situation. It feels like Darwin Nunez sticks out of this Liverpool team. They're playing great football up until that final third, but when he's got to convert or finish moves, it's a problem. You could call it the Darwin Nunez dilemma, because that's what the issue is right now.
One player I want to ask you about is Nunez, because I like him, but is he starting to maybe frustrate a few Liverpool fans? Yesterday wasn't at his best.
Is he really starting to frustrate Liverpool fans? Well, if he is, it's bad for a whole load of reasons. See guys, trying to understand the Darwin Nunez dilemma is as difficult as trying to understand the man himself. But we just break it down, and the first question has to be, what exactly is the problem with Darwin Nunez? He misses way too many chances. How do you say Darwin Nunez without saying Darwin Nunez? He'd miss this, but somehow managed to bang this in. That's the biggest problem with Nunez. He misses the chances you so easily expect him to convert. His goal record hasn't been great since he joined the club, and that's saying something. I mean, this just sounds as bad as you think it is. 7 big chances converted, 32 big chances missed. 32! You just imagine if he'd put at least half of those big chances away, and that's a 20-goal-plus season already.
I think in its confidence, and the confidence that I'm talking about is when you are at the club and you feel like you're going to play week in, week out, you're a bit more cold in front of the goal. Because he wants to please so much and do so much and wow, he wants to wow the Liverpool fans. Sometimes he rushes it. You know, he gets the ball, he rushes it instead of controlling the ball, going back on his right foot or finish it clean. You know, he kind of rushes it, and I think I went through that, you know, when you arrive.
He rushes way too many chances, and for a player in his position, it's a problem. Looking at some of his data this season, he's taken 12 shots at goal this season, 7 on target, and has a conversion rate of 16.67. For context, his teammate Mo Salah's conversion rate stands at 30.23%. The numbers, stats, gameplay, actually watching the guy, everything points to the fact that he looks odd in this Liverpool team. Or for Uruguay, yikes. But you probably understand the idea by now. He misses way too many chances. I mean, if I decided to base this video on the big chances he's missed this season, the ones you expect him to score, he obviously wouldn't do any of this on purpose, miss the chances that is. So what's the issue here? Let's go back to that video Henry posted earlier.
You know, he kind of rushes it, and I think I went through that. You know, when you arrive, big signing, you're coming after Sadio Mane, and that's not easy to do, and you just overdo it at times instead of being calm and cool and finish.
With Darwin Nunez, it's about composure, or the lack of it. But apart from that, there's another thing with the man people tend to miss, an underlying fact. The price tag weighs heavy on him, and it's affecting his game. There's a psychological game attached to this, and perhaps that's the thing that's getting to Darwin Nunez. He's the club's record signing, and if we go back to the Henry video earlier, it just feels like it weighs on the mind of Nunez every time he steps on the pitch, like he's always playing with a point to prove. I mean, this is the guy who was banging goals at Benfica before he made the switch. He was so good he won the Portuguese Primeira Golden Boot Award the season before he joined Liverpool, so there's proof in there that there is a player, but it's the psychological aspect of what he's having to deal with every game that's perhaps affecting him. Unfortunately though, football is a results-orientated business, and Nunez is in the position where it matters most, sticking the ball in the back of the net, something he doesn't do quite regularly. Then again, this just goes to show how tough the competition is in England.
We've had some interesting quotes from Darwin Nunez recently in an interview about the transition to the Premier League. He said, "I didn't expect the Premier League to be so strong. Nico Otamendi told me that, but I still didn't expect it. The football is more difficult than in Portugal and more competitive. You don't get much time. Klopp knows my strength is my speed, running into space. Also, he tells me that I need to be more calm when I'm playing and that I need to move more. He tells me I'm a player with a lot of quality, so that's more or less what he wants from me. And of course, that I score goals. I don't think I'm playing well at the moment. I still have many things to work on, for example, my finishing. But I think the same thing is happening to me as happened to Luis Suarez. In his second year, he tore it up. Something similar happened to me already at Benfica."
Now there's a lot in this, and we will discuss it as the video continues, but to pick up what he said, it's about Nunez's opening statement. The level of competition in the Premier League is tough, and people tend to forget that. Making the move from Benfica to Liverpool wasn't easy, but he did, and with that, he changed competitions to a much tougher league. And in his words, he doesn't get as much time as he used to at Benfica because of how fast the teams in the Premier League are. Then again, we're dealing with 85 million quid. I'm sorry man, but for that price tag, everything he does gets magnified, good or bad. Looking at him in the current season, the big question is, does he fit into Arne Slot's plans?
Score goals and that they can assist, I know, and that's the same with Darwin. So he will get his chance in the near future. We play a lot of games, and I think he's fitter and fitter now. Understands day by day better what we expect from him.
Listen to the last part of that press conference. Slot has well informed Darwin Nunez what the club expects from him, and as he did say, Nunez was going to get his chance, and no one can fault the Dutchman for not giving him minutes. He's already played 21 games for the Reds this season. Arne Slot is keeping his part and giving Nunez time in the team, but the Uruguayan hasn't been producing. Slot also said Nunez is in competition for a starting spot in the team, which is very true. I mean, he's having to compete with Diogo Jota in that role, and the form the Portuguese is in won't do Nunez any favours.
Here's Jota, twisting, turning, scoring,
His first game back from injury, and he's scored the same amount of goals Darwin Nunez has in that period, 1. Slot has indirectly made it clear who he prefers between the two. Before Jota's injury, he was the starter, while Nunez had to make do with an impact role off the bench. After his injury, that should have been Nunez's chance to make a statement for himself and force the manager into a decision, but in truth he failed to take that. And now Jota's back, Nunez might soon have to make do with a place on the bench again. So now we know all this, what the big issue with Nunez is and why he doesn't play as well as he should, missing chances and all. Shouldn't Liverpool just sell him then? Well, it's not that straightforward. Like Arne Slot and the board know, getting rid of the Uruguayan won't be an easy task. I'll let you know how in a sec, but first, you see that subscribe button to Football Historia? Click it if you haven't yet to get more content like this. Back to Nunez now, and yeah, Liverpool wouldn't be able to let him go that easy. Why? Well, with everything that's been said, Arne Slot still believes in him.
You've had a few months to work with Darwin Nunez. How do you see him in his form? Because he didn't have a great Copa America. He hasn't scored. He scored 1 goal for Liverpool since April, and today he may have looked a little bit off the pace.
I don't think it's really honest to say he only scored 1 for Liverpool, because you also have to look at the playing time he got, and I think it was his first start of the season. So I don't look at it and in the way you do that only focus on the individual. I think in the first hour we didn't create a lot of chances for him as well because we missed out on a last pass on numerous occasions. If we would have done better, that probably would have led to chances for him as well.
This is Slot defending Nunez despite the heavy criticism he's faced this season. And there's another aspect to his game that no one is taking note of. Given that he isn't scoring goals, it's easy to dismiss this as false, but there's evidence to suggest that under Arne Slot, Darwin Nunez has improved certain aspects of his game. Take this assist to Mo Salah against Arsenal as an example. Darwin Nunez a season back, or even in that debut season, either gets this pass wrong or attempts something different. He's done this before, but this season under Slot, Nunez looks a bit more calmer now. He's already had that special connection with Salah ever since he came to the team, but now he generally looks like a guy who is still learning his trade at the team but understands he needs to be more calculated. Then again, you can't just dismiss the guy. He might not score goals, but Darwin Nunez brings something different to this Liverpool team. Nunez really is a handful and a special asset to this Liverpool team. Watch this sequence of play against Real Madrid, for example. He didn't score, but it's the work he did to get into that position that is impressive. He tracks back deep into his half, wins the ball, and then does the 1-2 with Salah to get into the goal-scoring opportunity. Darwin Nunez has the energy to contribute to the defensive aspect of the game for his team. We see him tracking back a lot to win the ball and provide an extra body in there. And when the team needs to get out, he's off in a flash, a bundle of energy. This aspect of his game might prove valuable to Liverpool as the season progresses, and they'd also have to deal with the fact that despite the misses, he's a fan favourite of the club. Listen to Anfield chant his name every time he's on the pitch and you'll understand. They love the chaos he brings. In Arne Slot's words, it's like he feeds off it.
Too much to score that goal for himself and also for the fans because they've been very supportive for him.
He really feeds off that, doesn't he? You can hear the chants around the ground and he really you can see it gets him going on the match.
Yeah, it definitely does. But not only for him, I think all our players feel the support of our fans, but he's definitely one of them. And if you're in a good place, so Mo, for example, he's scoring so many goals, he likes the support of the fans, but he doesn't really need it at the moment. But what I like about fans is, special fans, is that they're not only supportive if it's going really well for a player, but especially if he maybe needs that support, and that is what makes these fans of us special, in my opinion.
The fans love him, and so do the players too.
The name of Haaland, and also Darwin. It's a bit similar, very direct, quick, tall, strong, and it's quite difficult to play against him.
Van Dijk hypes him up, even Mo Salah talks about him.
What's the secret to understanding Darwin Nunez? Tell the world, mate, we need to know.
Well, it's tricky because he's kind of different player. We never had that quality before. He's loved to run in space. He doesn't like the ball much in his feet, which is it's unique because he's really fast. So he's keep looking at me because he knows that I can give him the ball easily in space, that he can finish the situation. His numbers this season is improving a lot, which is great for us. Always try to watch him in training and try to watch the other guys, to be fair, like Cody when he plays as well.
He's a fan favourite and has become someone who feeds off the energy from the crowd. Now guys, it's time to weigh all this on a scale. Is what Nunez brings to the table enough compared to what he doesn't? Well, the realistic answer is no. You see, Liverpool under Arne Slot is a club that's heading somewhere. They've got a vision of where they want to be and what they want the club to achieve, and a distinct playing style now, particularly in attack, and is showing. They know how they are to play. It's controlled, measured football with an approach. The only downside to that attack seems to be Darwin Nunez.
I don't think it's really honest to say he only scored one for Liverpool, because you also have to look at the playing time he got, and I think it was his first start of the season. So I don't look at it and in the way you do that only focus on the individual. I think in the first hour we didn't create a lot of chances for him as well, because we missed out on a last pass on numerous occasions. If we would have done better, that probably would have led to chances for him as well.
If you listen to Arne Slot here, read between the lines and his statement, that is. While he does sound like he's defending him, it also sounds like Arne Slot is running a thin line with Nunez. He also mentioned the fact that he's missed great chances. And in that game in particular, the one versus Girona that is, Liverpool was running a thin line. It could easily have gone the other way around if Girona had converted their chances or Alisson hadn't been on such superb form on the night. But the point is, in games like that, they've got to make the most of the chances they get, and Liverpool didn't do that. Could they sell him then? Is it time for Darwin Nunez to start learning Arabic? Well, it's not that easy. Again, 85 million quid, that's a huge figure, and the fact that Liverpool was willing to pay such an amount for him just feels like he's a long-term investment the club gambled on.
That I score goals. I don't think I'm playing well at the moment. I still have many things to work on, for example, my finishing. But I think the same thing is happening to me as happened to Luis Suarez. In his second year, he tore it up. Something similar happened to me already at Benfica.
We're going back to this again, and perhaps there's an angle in it. Nunez here said in his second season at the club he usually gets better and performs more, and to an extent his second season at the club, which was last season, did see some memorable performances, none more so than that game versus Newcastle United at St James's Park. 2 goals off the bench to help Liverpool steal the win, incredible. But now he's in his 3rd season, the first under Slot. Is he telling us he'll need a 2nd season under Slot to become better then? He might not get that luxury. The team needs results and players who can perform on the spot. With current form, you don't see Darwin Nunez benching a player like Diogo Jota, and a player like him, who is Uruguay's main starting striker, will demand minutes and might ultimately force the club into selling him to see what they can get off him.
Throughout the whole squad, but especially up front as well. So that they are able to score a goal, that's not a surprise for me. And yeah, especially the first one. Oh, what a finish that was from them. I mean, ours was a great finish as well, but that shot from Isak.
Make what you want of this. Arne Slot publicly admiring Alexander Isak, and you wouldn't rule out a possible Liverpool move for the Swedish forward in the near future. And if they do, might just be time to move on with Nunez. So how bad is Darwin Nunez really? Unpredictable. It depends on the mood he's in. He bagged versus Southampton in the Carabao Cup to score his 4th goal of the season. But that's still not masking that he needs to do more if he's going to seriously contend for a place in this Liverpool team. With the competition they're in, you do expect him to at least get more game time. The Champions League knockouts soon, the Premier League running until May, the Carabao Cup last 4, the FA Cup coming soon. Nunez knows he has to make an impression. But can he?
He never hides. The biggest compliment I can give him. People miss chances and you see him not getting in the box. They the ball goes down the wing and they're on the edge of the box waiting for a pullback. Even there, when he's already hit the post 3 times, missed the penalty, he's still getting in there for that header. He's the one who's bursting a gut to get in there. You hope it works for him. You know, for me, he gets in my team every day of the week because he is an absolute handful. He's willing to run without the ball. He makes runs. He's a team player. And I think, for me, I hope it... I hope it clicks for him. He's got 11 goals. He's playing for a team that going for the quadruple. So he's doing something right. I'm a big fan of his, as I say. It takes a lot of character not to hide, and he does never.
That's one thing about the Uruguayan that does help him. The fact that despite the misses, he keeps going. That's the mentality he'll need if he's going to make an impact in this current Liverpool team. I mean, there are signs that there is a very talented forward in there. When he scores goals like this, or generally the bangers he scores, he's on a level where you think if he can replicate this week in and week out, he'll be right up there with the best.
¿Qué significó que te llamara Luis Suárez después de la expulsión contra el Crystal Palace?
No, bueno, fue algo bueno, ¿no? Porque no muchos se molestan en agarrar el teléfono y pasarte un mensaje, y creo que el gesto de él fue muy importante para mí, muy bueno, es un referente, es ídolo en todo el mundo. Y claro, como yo recién empiezo, soy joven, ella sabe todas estas cosas. Ella estuvo por acá, por Liverpool, jugando en la Premier. Y nada, me dijo que estas cosas en la Premier van a pasar en todos los partidos, que te van a venir a buscar, te van a chocar, tenés que hacerte fuerte y no tenés que hacer la cagada que te mandaste. Mirá, hacerle caso a un pelotudo, me dice, como yo. Y claro, no, nada. Y la verdad que lo agradezco mucho por el mensaje y el cariño que él me tiene a mí.
Getting advice from a player like Luis Suarez will help too. The Premier League is the toughest in the world by a mile, and the case with Darwin Nunez might be a player who is playing under the pressure of having to adapt to the game in a new country and somewhat buckling under it. Liverpool and Darwin Nunez will certainly be very interesting to watch this season. Remember that Arne Slot made no major signings this season, showing that he wants to work with the team he's got, and Nunez is a part of that. Where Darwin Nunez has been struggling though, another Liverpool forward, who was somewhat in the same category, has been shining. Cody Gakpo's been in a rich vein of form for Liverpool, but is it all just temporary? How good is he? And what has Arne Slot done to bring the best out of him? Well, click the next video to find out.